What is up? You are on another episode of the Reely podcast. You know how we're doing, getting it done on the iPhone. Shouts out to Apple. Sponsor us. We're using your product. Once again, I am here with Frank Xavier Escalante.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. On the part 2, we've never done a before and after of a movie yet, of Joker. Which, wow. What did we say about it last week, really?
You know, I've been trying to remember.
Yeah.
And I think it just basically what we said recap last week, we're so excited to see the dark side of it and like an origin and see how they take it type of thing. And it literally surpassed. Just amazing.
I'd have to agree. I think we must have talked about some worries. There were a couple they might fumble on these certain parts.
Yes.
And I really, just re-examining it, I really don't think they did. I honestly, maybe there might be a couple gaffes in something that maybe some cinematographer thinks this scene is too lit or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or, I don't know. But personally, like, at first, because I don't know, did you read my Flix fan review?
I did. I saw the picture that you put up, actually. Yeah. And then I read a little bit of it.
I wanted to talk about no B-plot. Like, that made me feel weird at first, as someone who's into films for their writing. I was like, hold on, like, there's no B-plot, and I felt like the movie was kind of like, I almost thought that was a mistake, and then I re-examined it, and I'm like, dude, I think they did that on purpose, because it adds to the anxiety. Because, most movies, like Dark Knight, you have Bruce Wayne's story, and then the Joker's doing the pencil thing. Yeah. And then Harvey Dent's doing his own thing with Rachel. Yep. That's 3 plots. Joker's, everything's Joaquin. There really isn't a scene without Joaquin, I don't think.
Very true.
And so you're just wondering what's this going to lead to. You don't get to see the other force getting stronger because it is a character study.
That's true. I think that's very true, actually. But I think it works out though, just because you get to see it's like the most beloved villain of all time, and you get to see just kind of like how this person becomes this person, because this person is a person before becoming this Joker. So it literally adds to it. Where do I start, man? I mean, the bus scene with the little kid, and then he starts like just laughing, and he's like, I gotta apologize. He's like, here's a card and everything, and just that creepiness. I mean, the scene where he's in the club and Gary Goldman, shouts to Gary Goldman. He's on stage. That's right. He was on stage, and just hearing his laugh, like the little and taking notes and everything, like,
oh, what a scene. I know you felt that differently as a stand-up comic.
So creepy. Yeah. Just so creepy. And
I was weirded out because I was like, how'd they get my notebook?
God damn it, Gary. Now I know where your jokes come from, man.
That was wild, dude. That was like, I think that was a little nod to American Psycho, where it's like, dude, all he's really doing is like having, like, he's got pornographic pictures. There's probably murder in there. Yeah. All his ideas.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But what's another good thing is that throughout the whole movie, because Zazie Beetz is in there, shout out to Zazie Beetz. But he plays this story in his mind that, spoiler alert, that she is his girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
And it isn't until he's in her apartment where she's like, hey, you're in the wrong apartment, and you're like, whoa, he made that whole thing up.
Yeah.
And it made it that much more like, damn, you're
fucking snapped.
You're delusional, like crazy.
Yeah, that was I don't want to put my movie snob degree on. I kind of saw that coming.
You did?
Just because I was like, the first time they really had a meaningful introduction as like boyfriend and girlfriend is like they just kissed. And that was it. Like, they kind of said their little thing, and then he did the head gun thing, and I think that was the last real interaction. And then the next time you see her in the movie, he just, like, after he has some moment where he, like, kills the bad guys, he just runs to her apartment and kisses her. And then it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And we're just okay with it. And then after that, it's like, okay, now they're going out. And I always knew, I was like, that was too fishy. Like, he's too weird just because Joaquin sold it. I'm like, he's too weird of a guy. Like, there's no way a girl as fire. If she was like a junkie, like a weirder character, I would have been like, he's got a girlfriend. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure. But I was like, there's no way a girl with her daughter is gonna I swear to God, in any universe. But I think at the same time, like, here's a major reason I love this movie, and I don't even know if I could put this in a short enough amount of words. The Joker's a big incel symbol, right? We were talking about that last time. I think what they did with this movie so effectively is took all that energy, and I hesitate to say brainwash, but it's like they were like, okay, we're gonna pick the Joker. Now we have all these incels that are ready for this movie, knowing their audience. They're gonna put out an image of their hero who is one, attracted to black women now, mad at rich people, doing things that normally incels wouldn't do. When incels are usually racist and, are Republican and don't blame the rich, and they blame the poor, and they blame different looking people. So they made it that, because I was like, at first when I finished it, I thought my mom was going to say it was disgusting and she didn't like it, because I was like, dude, when I left, I was like, that was pretty heavy, there are some scenes in there, Mom, that I didn't feel comfortable watching with you.
Yeah.
And but she was like, that was such a good movie, and I didn't even ask her why yet. I'm waiting I just want to dissect it with her. But
it makes you feel for the character. Like,
yeah.
It makes you feel because no matter what, the human emotion that everybody has had is you felt alone. You've like everyone's, and that's the emotion that every human has felt, is at one point in time. It might have been for a minute or 5 years or whatever. You've had a moment of, I feel so alone, and that's what it captures, and that's why it's like it resonates with people so well. And I mean, especially like, for instance, that one scene, spoiler, that one scene where he kills the guy in his apartment. Ooh. And the little short guy.
Yeah.
He's like, Arthur, can you let me out?
Yeah.
But he goes, oh, I like you, man. You were nice to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've been told that a couple times.
Yeah.
Like growing up as a kid, because I was always nice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But hearing that phrase is so reminiscent of like, it's such like a easy thing to say, but it's really the hardest thing to say, is you were nice to me, man. Like,
yeah.
You're like, thanks, man. Just, you were nice to me. And
in
it's so
context,
simple, because that's all that matters. Just be nice to people. That's it.
I always thought in high school that I was like the person who could get along with like the weirdest kids in the class, like the loners. But at the same time, I was on the football team and I was on prom court, and I was like able to jump those worlds. Did you ever see Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl?
I didn't heard about it though.
Ooh, I'll let you borrow it gladly, dude. The movie, it'll
Good.
change you. It'll change you.
Okay.
You love film, it's for people who love film, and it'll fucking change your life.
Fuck yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, the main character, he says, like, how they set it up is he doesn't have a clique in high school. He's like, yeah, I have like one really good friend. We both get along because we really like movies, and we shoot our own movies, and we just do little things all the time. But other than that, he's like, I get along with all the tribes in high school. And I never felt anything so hard. I was like, wow, that's someone like me. Because it was always like, okay, there's football guys, there's drama people, there's popular people, there's ASB, there's wrestling, all that shit. And I'd be pretty cool with all of them. Like, I was in football, but I didn't start. I literally, me and my one homie just made people laugh on the football team, dude. We were just fucking comedic relief, I swear to God. And then I was in, like, film, and I was pretty good at film, but same thing. It was like, this is just like a fun little memory lane thing, but I remember in my film class, in my screenwriting class, I was so nervous people weren't going to like my movie that I threw it away the night before, and I wrote a brand new movie. The night before, I wrote fucking 30 pages.
Oh, shit.
And I felt pretty good about it. And I took it into class, and then it turns out all the directors were fighting over it. They were fighting over that screenplay. And I ended up winning the little school awards, and it won like Best Picture, Best Screenplay, Best Supporting, like fucking a lot of heavy awards. And that's when I fell in love. But I remember at the end of like the semester, like we were at like a little banquet, and my film teacher was like, Carlos over there, he's like, Carlos over there just, I don't know what to say about him, he just comes in this class, acts so smug. He's not like a dick about it. He's not arrogant, but he knows he has something that other people don't, and that, and that he's just sitting on it, and he's just waiting for the moment to lay it out.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is the fucking nicest thing I've ever heard. Like, but that's not, when it comes to movies, bro, I know you're a movie guy.
Yeah.
I always feel that way. I'm like, dude, like, when it comes to movies, you're weird if you don't like movies. That's how into movies I am.
Yeah.
I don't know how to connect.
It's one of those things, man. And it's so funny that you say that, because my girlfriend actually told me the other day, she goes, you're so fucking weird when it comes to movies. Like, we gotta be on time. We gotta have enough time for the trailers.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's almost like you care more about movies than me. And I was like, kind of an honor to hear that.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
I might.
all right, I was like, damn, no, baby, I love you.
Yeah.
But then I was like, that's the type of shit that you want to hear, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because it's like,
yeah.
that means you're not faking the funk, and that means it's real.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's great, man. Movies are great. Movies are the shit. Because they just give you a dive into people's lives. And then also, there was a theory that I got told by Sean Malavy, Mr. Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
That he told me that at the end scene where he's in the psych ward,
Yeah.
where he says, do you have what was the joke? Or whatever. He's like, oh, I was thinking about a joke, but you probably wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
So his theory is that everything that happened was all made up in his head.
Oh, that's tight.
Yeah. So it's like like all the killing or anything never happened, and he's just been in there.
Oh, that's so sick.
So now I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Because now I'm like, because if he was already making delusions about everything else, why not that?
No,
and now you're like, oh shit. It didn't even happen.
And the Joker that's one of his staples, is that he's notorious for lying about his backstory.
Yeah.
But you just don't know. It could be anybody. That's the fucking Joker. And like, I remember my buddy, I'm gonna have to call him up and tell him he's a big stoner, big fan of the movie too. And he was like, oh, I liked it, but I didn't like that they personified the Joker. He's like, because he's like, one of my favorite things about him is that he could be anybody. He's anonymous. And he was like, yeah, and I like that he has the fake backstory. But you're saying now, like, that could have been the fake backstory. Because it's like, it did seem kind of like a big reach for him to be like, oh, he's just going to kill, like, a doctor now and, like, get away with it real quick. Like, just as a little coda to the movie. But then it's like, oh, no, dude, yeah, he is that crazy. That was a lie.
Yeah. And it's like, it fits his persona, man. It totally fits his persona.
That's that's a fun theory to think about.
Yeah. What was your favorite scene aesthetically, where you were just like, this is
aesthetically
beautiful.
is the ending.
Which part? Tell me.
It was at the curtains, right when he's behind the curtain. I think I have a screenshot of it. It's on the phone, but it's like right before. I think it's like right when he's smoking and he's angry and you have the backdrop
is he
on
like
him.
this? Is he like this?
It's that one. I love that shot. I
great
fucking
shot.
love that shot.
Favorite shot is when he's on top of the car and he does.
Oh, with the blood?
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
I've seen a lot of those posts.
Dude, just...
Yeah.
Fucking... Ugh.
Dude, you know what my favorite scene, and this is something that, like, I would love to write a fucking essay on, is when he drops the gun in the children's ward.
So fucking...
Because if you want to talk about good cinema, dude, do you watch Every Frame of Painting?
No.
It's a dope, dude. Save money on film school. It's a dope fucking YouTube series.
Every Frame of Painting.
Yeah, and the whole idea about the title is that you should be able to pause any really good movie at any time, and then it should look like a painting. Like your screenshot should be that nice and gorgeous.
Really?
That's why they don't like Marvel and they don't like superhero movies, because if you pause it at certain times, it's just blur. You just get motion blur.
Yeah.
It's like not even. It's like don't watch this part. They don't, and yeah, that's why people get so anal and about saying cinema and real art, because it's like, dude, like the reason we have these insanely expensive technical machines is for that reason, to like make everything look just clean as. Think about any Tarantino movie.
So wild.
Think about
Holy
any
shit.
any Tarantino movie at all.
My god.
You could pause it and learn so much about it. So like with that thought in mind, Joker, right? You pause it, you see a clown, dude. You see a gun on the floor. You see children with cancer. It's just like, damn, dude, that's so heavy. That's like, fuck it. That's deeper than like, what's Van Gogh, dude? That's like, oh my lord, dude. That's like, you're asking me. Another thing I really loved, and this goes to writing. There was a scene, I forget, he's in a restaurant, but you see like a mountain of trash, like outside the door, and it's so not noticeable. But, like, it's just... I remember I picked it up because I was like, what the fuck? Like, why is there... It's just a whole pile of it. Like, they're making it seem like our world, but, like kind of Mad Maxy. Like, that's kind of how it felt, right? Everything was exaggerated bad. But with that scene in particular, later on in the movie... Huh?
When he's eating with Zazie
I think it
Beetz?
must be. I'm pretty sure I remember a restaurant, but I know they were in a building and it's like kind of raining and there's like literally like the whole fucking left side of the screen is basically covered by trash, but you're just focused on them in the diner, which is a nice little shot. But there's all this trash, right? And later in the movie, they're like Thomas Wayne, he's doing that little dinner and he has that joke. It's like, yeah, so the trash strike is still going on and my little kid asks, oh, where are we gonna get our trash? Remember that?
Oh shit, that's right.
So it's so funny. That's an answer for people like me who were thinking about that question. The movie answered it. It wasn't like, it's not like, oh, this is just a city that's evil for no reason. It's like, oh fuck, that sometimes neighborhoods look like that because people go on strike, and that's a reality. You know?
Oh wow, I didn't think about that.
Wild. Even the subway, it's like not all the subways are that bad. But we've seen pictures of like subways in the 80s
and
where the whole thing are just trash, and that happened once. So it's like, okay, that's it. Sometimes shit does look like that. That's how bad the world can get, you know?
Yeah.
And Joker just lives that.
That's his day.
He every day is the worst. Like, imagine where he lives. That's the worst apartment you could ever live. Where he lives is like seriously like the fucking worst place you could ever live. And he pays for it, and his job is the worst job you can ever. Can you imagine how much it fucking pays to be a advertising clown? Like,
it feels like the 80s.
In the 80s,
like late 70s, early 80s.
He's probably getting paid like $1 a day,
Yeah.
dude, and he could probably buy like groceries. Funny enough, back then.
A full bag of fucking groceries.
Yeah, seriously, that's like how, and they're just stringing it along.
Dude, I feel like
it's so wild.
One thing that's been coming up from a lot of like critics and everything like that is the fucking music, is the score.
Oh yeah, it's
creepy,
classic,
man.
right? Is
it's
it
creepy, man? It's almost like you've seen Sicario, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like his name's Johansson. He died.
Oh yeah.
So you know how creepy
It's
that score
ominous.
was? Yeah, it's very ominous, just like that. And it's just like it's like you're watching fucking like he's doing that whole Tai Chi.
Oh
thing, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's just like, this is creepy, man. This is fucking creepy, but it's so good. Ugh.
It's so good, dude. That's
I'm gonna watch it again.
Gonna watch it again. I was about to say that. That's a really good spot to end it, dude. Dude, thanks for the idea.
Oh, dude.
You're always welcome on the podcast. You're
Thank
a
you,
true
man.
movie fan.
Thank you.
Go watch his comedy. Keep watching the show. Yeah, have fun, watch movies, do shit.